Welcome back to the darkness. We all want a fresh start. A new job, a new city, a better life for our children. But sometimes, when a deal looks too good to be true, it's because you are paying with something other than money. Tonight's guest is Sarah. She moved to Texas with her 10-year-old daughter, Lily, hoping for a bright future. Instead, she walked into a nightmare that has baffled the police and left a mother with nothing but silence. Sarah, thank you for being strong enough to speak today. The microphone is yours.
I still check the locks every night, not to keep people out, but in hopes that she might come back in. My name is Sarah, and I need to tell you about the night I lost my world. My daughter, Lily. It was 2 months ago. I had just gotten a transfer to a branch in San Antonio, Texas. It was a huge step up for us. Lily was 10, full of energy, and excited about the cowboy state. We didn't know anyone there, so I spent weeks scouring Craigslist and Zillow for a place to live. That's when I found it, an ad for a spacious 2-bedroom apartment in a historic building downtown. The rent was ridiculous. I mean, dirt cheap. In this market, a place like that should have been triple the price. I thought I had won the lottery. I called the number, wired the deposit, and we drove down there with our car packed to the brim. We arrived in the late afternoon. The Texas heat was brutal, humid, and sticky. From the outside, the building looked old but charming. You know, that Victorian-style red bricks, ivy climbing the walls. We were so happy. Lily was dancing on the sidewalk, singing, "New house, new house." But the moment I turned the key and pushed that heavy oak door open, the happiness died. It wasn't charming inside. It was dead. The air was stale, like it had been trapped in a tomb for 50 years. It was cold, unnaturally cold for Texas in July. The wallpaper was peeling in strips like dead skin. The floorboards were covered in a thick layer of gray dust. It looked nothing like the photos online. It felt hostile, like the house was holding its breath, waiting for us to leave. Lily stopped dancing. She grabbed my hand, squeezing it hard. "Mom," she whispered, "I don't like it here. It feels heavy." I tried to be the brave mom. "It's just old, baby. I'll clean it up." But deep down, my gut was screaming, "Run!" I called the landlord immediately. Mr. Henderson. He sounded nervous on the phone. I pressed him, asking why the place was in this condition. Finally, he cracked. "Look, ma'am," he stuttered. "My father bought that building right after World War II. But nobody has ever lived in Unit 4B. My dad refused to rent it out. He died last month, and I just listed it. I didn't know. I want my money back," I told him, my voice shaking. "We are not staying here." He agreed instantly, too instantly. "Fine, just leave the keys on the counter. Go." But by then, the sun had set. It was pitch black outside. We were exhausted from the drive. I looked at Lily. She was yawning, barely keeping her eyes open. "Okay," I sighed. "We stay tonight. Just tonight. We'll grab a hotel first thing in the morning." That was the worst mistake of my life. We ordered a pizza, but neither of us could eat much. The apartment felt like it was watching us. We decided to sleep in the same room, the living room, because the bedrooms felt too isolated. I laid out our sleeping bags on the floor, but the floor was so cold, it seeped through the fabric. So, we piled onto an old mattress that was left in the corner. I locked the front door. I deadbolted it. I even put a chair under the handle. Around 11 p.m., Lily fell asleep holding my arm. I couldn't sleep. I just stared at the inside the walls. Dozens of voices overlapping. Swish, wish, kritika. It wasn't English. It wasn't Spanish. It sounded ancient, like rocks grinding together. I sat up, heart pounding against my ribs. "Who's there?" I shouted. The whispering stopped instantly. The silence that followed was heavier than the noise. Suddenly, the mattress shifted. I thought Lily was moving, but she was dead asleep. Then I felt a lurch. My stomach dropped. I looked down and screamed. Our bed, the entire mattress, was floating. We were hovering 5 feet off the ground. "Lily, wake up!" I screamed, grabbing her shoulders. Lily woke up screaming. The bed was shaking violently now, suspending in midair. And then an invisible force grabbed her. I didn't see anyone, but I saw the imprint on her arm. Fingers. Long, thin fingers pressing into her skin. "Mommy, help me!" she shrieked. She was being pulled off the mattress. I lunged for her. I grabbed her other hand with both of mine. I got you, baby," I yelled, digging my heels into the floating mattress. But the force, it wasn't human. It was like fighting a tornado. The bed slammed down onto the floor with a deafening crash, but the pulling didn't stop. Lily was being dragged across the floorboards. I was being dragged with her. "No, you can't have her," I screamed, clawing at the floor, clawing at her clothes. She was being pulled toward the wall, the solid brick wall. "Mommy, it burns," Lily cried out. And then I saw the impossible. The wall didn't break. It rippled, like water, like black liquid. The entity was pulling her into the wall. My fingers were slipping. Her hand was sweaty. "Don't let go, Mom." "Never," I screamed, but the force gave one final violent yank. Her hand slipped from mine. "No!" I watched, frozen in horror, as my 10-year-old daughter was pulled through the solid bricks. Her legs, her torso, her screaming face. And then, gone. The wall turned back to solid brick instantly. I threw myself at the wall. I punched it until my knuckles shattered. I screamed until I vomited. "Give her back! Give her back!" I called 911. I don't remember dialing. I just remember screaming into the phone. The police arrived in minutes. They kicked the door down. They found me huddled against the wall, bleeding, sobbing hysterically. They searched everywhere. They tore the wall down with sledgehammers. Nothing, just bricks and insulation. No secret tunnel, no Lily. The officers were looking at me like I was crazy, like I had done something to her. One officer knelt beside me. "Ma'am, where is she? Did you hide her?" And that's when it spoke again. Everyone, it didn't come from the wall. It came from the air surrounding us. "She is beautiful," the voice hummed. It wasn't scary. It was calm, happy. "We like her. She is ours now. We are taking her to our land, the land of eternal twilight. You stay here," the voice whispered to me. "She will be happy. Goodbye." The room went dead silent. The police officers turned pale. One of them dropped his flashlight. They couldn't explain it. They still can't. It's been 2 months. The case is classified as a cold case disappearance. They suspect me, but they have no evidence. But I know the truth. My daughter isn't dead. She's somewhere else, in a place where the walls are like water. If you are listening to this, if you ever see a deal that looks too good to be true, turn around. Run, because some houses aren't empty. They are just hungry.
And that brings us to the end of tonight's nightmare. You know, Sarah's story forces us to think. We all chase the dream, don't we? A better job, a bigger city, a fresh start. And in this economy, when we see an ad for a beautiful home at an unbeatable price, we call it luck. But as we learned tonight, sometimes luck has nothing to do with it. Sometimes a deal is too good to be true because you aren't paying with money. You are paying with your soul. So, if Sarah's story sent shivers down your spine, please support the channel. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a true story. And before you go, take a piece of advice with you. Be careful what you wish for. If an offer looks too good to be true, it's probably a trap. Don't let a cheap price tag cost you your life. I will see you very soon with another terrifying tale. Until then, stay safe, stay skeptical, and keep your doors locked.